Welcome to the November 2010 edition of Ask the Commissioner with USA South Commissioner Rita Wiggs.
Hi, my name is Haley Jeffries, a freshman on the Greensboro College volleyball team. I would like to know what a sports information director does.
Okay, I'm here with Rikki Rich, who's the sports information director at North Carolina Wesleyan College. And Rikki, we have a loaded question from one of our student athletes, and that question is, what does a sports information director do? So since I know from experience that you do a lot of things, let's break this down a little bit. What would be a typical day in a sports information director's life, if there is such a thing?
Okay. Well, there are really only 2 days in an SID's life, a game day and a non-game day. So beginning with a game day, I may come in and, up until noon work on things not related to the game going on that day, whether that be roster updates, getting a release out about an academic award or a spotlight event. And then usually in the afternoon is when I do my game preparations, getting a game day program ready, getting the live stats ready to go, getting the stat crew rosters, all of those things updated and ready to go. And basically handling all the media aspects for that event through the evening. If it were a basketball game, for example, being in an hour early, making sure that the clocks are running, the staff is there, and that everyone's prepared for the event at hand.
Now, once the game actually begins, what are your responsibilities?
Well, I primarily handle our statistics on a game day, and I will have my assistant SID, who's also our lacrosse coach, handle some of the game management duties if needed. During the game, making sure that everything's running the way it should. Our game day supervisor is where they need to be, and keeping the statistics, running the live stats and whatnot, making sure that the coaches get their stats at halftime. And then after the game, obviously, work begins again because, you're getting out press releases to the local papers, updating your website, and getting those stats online, sent to the conference office, sent to the opposing SID. And, for an away game, that post-game time is pretty much the same. You're just waiting for the stats to come to you before you do all those duties. So,
now, I know that what you do directly affects the conference office and also the NCAA. So tell us how your job with statistics and various things are tied in with the USA South Conference office and also with the NCAA.
Well, we send all of our stat files to Mike Christie at the conference office, and he uploads those for the conference website. With our new website, we're able to upload our own stats for most sports, which makes it a little easier as far as getting them updated, immediately almost for the coaches so that they can be preparing for their next game. The NCAA requires us weekly to put our scores in, so Sunday nights or Monday mornings I make sure all of our scores are updated, that our records are updated for regional rankings, national rankings, and whatnot. And Player of the Week nominations also go out on Mondays, and we run those through the conference office. So,
now, another thing that some people listening might be interested in is, what was your background? What was your educational preparation to become a sports information director? Because I know that varies as I look across the conference at our different sports information directors. They've taken different routes to get where they are. What was the route that you took?
Well, I've had several athletes ask me that same question, and unfortunately there's not a sports information major out there. Not to say there might not be one in the future, but this isn't a career that, in second grade career day you go and dress up like a sports information director. My personal background, I have a master's in math education, and I went to UNC Pembroke and played basketball and softball there, and happened to do work study in the sports information office. And then as a grad student, stayed in sports information with a graduate assistantship. And our SID there at UNC Pembroke actually took a job at James Madison University. Midway through, I got named the interim, and then it's just one of those things where you got your foot in the door. And I loved it and stayed with it, and now I watch games for a living. So.
And you were able to come back to your hometown,
yes.
An extra bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I know from the conference office perspective and having been an athletic director also that I have a great deal of respect for sports information directors and their passion for sports, their passion for the student athletes and getting the student athlete story out there, and also the coaches and what their records are, how successful they are. So we'd have a hard time getting the word out if it wasn't for our SIDs, and we certainly appreciate that. And also, just another point, the websites. I think, and why don't you speak to that, because I think a lot of people don't realize who keeps those updated, who makes them look the way they look.
Well, we all know that, as a society, we've become more and more technology-driven, and, the website is often one of the very first things that a student-athlete, potential recruit, a parent is going to go to find out information about an athletics program. So I dare say that probably 75% of my time is spent making sure that the information on our website is accurate, up to date, continuously changing, which in sports information it's not too hard to do, considering you've got pretty much a release, if not 2 or 3, going out, every day or so. So you're just trying to keep it fresh, for the people coming back to it. And personally, going back to my background, I had a minor in computer information systems. That is one thing that I loved was, web design and getting those things out there. And I'm very pleased that is the majority of my job is working on the website.
And then we have Players of the Week and conference awards and all of that. But it just goes on and on. But our SIDs put in many, many hours, but you can tell with every one of them that it's definitely a passion. And thanks for taking time from your busy schedule to talk with us.
Thank you.